pop this up real quick. We'll be good to go. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. I can see now that it's working. Dude, these headphones they're noise canceling. It's so weird. It's like I'm talking underwater. All right. As long as you guys can hear everything just fine, we will get ready to rock and roll. What's up, Jamie? If you would be so kind to share this video around, we're going to be working on this guy this evening. So we're going to be doing big work. Let me turn this away from my face. So crazy. All right, give me 1 second here. Oof. I'm dying. All right, so yeah, please share that out if you would. That'd be really great. So I need a teal for sure. I need a magenta as well. What did I say? I needed a what? Uh-oh. Oh, teal, right. I've got a new paint rack behind me. Okay, so here are the colors that I got. What's up, BJ? I just cracked your resins open, out and about today. They're about to get put into the display case. All right, this is what we're rocking with right here. This is gonna be where we start our fun. Oh my God. These paints, I finally got them all sorted today. They were like, I had 4 bottles explode. Uh-oh, did I miss a message from somebody? Hold on. Looks like Shoshi sent me a message. Just a smiley face, there you go. All right. Okay. I'm still confused if... I feel like what I'm seeing there in the eye is not supposed to be there. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, this definitely is not supposed to be there, so I'm gonna have to try and cut that out pretty carefully. Definitely a mold slip, which not very, or not a mold slip, it's like a piece of gunk stuck in there. I'll be able to hide this pretty well, which is cool. But yeah, I just want to make sure we get that out of there before I go too far. All right, there we go. I got it pretty much carved down to the eye, so it should be relatively hidden. I can keep going further though. I just gotta be careful. It's in a weird place. I'm gonna end up cutting into the rest of the. I think I just did, but I'll be able to hide that. Let me. There we go. It's all right though. We will do our repairs. I think I'm good right here though. I think we finally got it. Pretty annoying though to have to dig that out at the last second, but it'll be okay. Are we good? Let me see. I'm rubbing the end of the knife here against the eye. Yeah, I think, let's see. Are we good? Yeah, okay. Alright, cool. Let's get it cracking. So I'm gonna go over the eyes just in a dark color. I think I'm gonna actually use gunmetal from the Cab line of paints, which I didn't know like weren't being made, I guess, or maybe they are. They have to order a ton at a time though, so that sort of limits the availability of the product. So if they don't sell very fast, then they're not going to be making a bunch of extras. Wow, I need to clean that brush terribly. What have I done there? Okay. That will be okay. Give me a second here to share this out. One more time. Okay. Sweet. Whoops. I'm breaking the no hat rule, so you know that that's gonna cause some bumps along the way. There we go. Look at that. It's like we never had that chunk there. Much better. I mean, there's a little bit of a texture, but once we get it, or once it's dry, I'm assuming it literally won't even look like anything. All right, cool. So, oh, and then, this chunk right here, I'm going to end up carving out as well. But if I just darken it, it should be okay. But yeah, I'm going to have to dig that out. That kind of sucks. Okay. So anyway, hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope it was nice and fun for everybody. Or just relaxing, I mean, I don't know. Didn't have to be crazy. As with most weekends, it was over way too soon, so. Alright, so we're gonna continue on our journey here with the leather. So what I'm doing here is just getting it wet so that I sort of can tell a little bit better the saturation that I need to be putting on top. This is another old school painting trick. Get it wet to sort of see your tones correctly. And I see that I need to be using a gold, way more purple. Like a gold is in like a tan, and then let's see, yep, that's pretty much it. That's really the only other two tones to push would be that. So in the way that I'm analyzing that, I'm trying to look at the two areas that I still need to work on, which would be to push the shadows on the left and right, and then to do the ridges. And it's very, very gold colored when it's saturated here, so that should be the color that I push with. And then it turns way more purple, obviously, when it's wet in the shadows, so we're just gonna push that more. So, but of course we're gonna use like this, and this. I may actually be able to use something like this as well. I'm not sure though. We will have to see. Let me see. I can actually get something good for that. Maybe something like that. Maybe not though. Something like this. I'll probably go for something like that. We'll just have to see. Let me see as well if I can get our what was it called? It's been so long. Oh, here it is, right? Yep. Boom. All right, let's do it. Yeah, I had paint explode, so like all my paints have some colors that were not there intentionally. So, the goal for this was to have this like crazy neon effect in with the skull, where it's still pretty obvious that you're looking at a skull. But you just have very intense coloration, which I can still probably push further. It just kind of depends on where exactly we land. So, what's up, Brian? How have you been, man? Hope your weekend was good. Okay, there's some dust on this guy still from unpacking him. Of course. Not wearing a glove again today like a true madman. Look at that beautiful eyeshadow. Look how killer this thing's looking. Man, don't mind me while I toot my own horn, but... I'm happy you guys chose this guy, though, because the coloring is super awesome. You know, it's funny you say that, Brian. I literally, like, just had the memory, seeing that you were here. Because I saw you, I think, post in, like, some Her Starts group. I forget what it is that you said, but I was like, oh yeah, because I hadn't thought about your castle project in a long time. Have you done any update pictures for it or anything since the last time? I think you shared it in the mini painting group, but I'd like to see if you have something new. If you can take some pictures for us, that would just be so great. Brian, you have to do this. It's not negotiable. I need pictures. Wait, why am I getting... I like how I'm like always mad if someone's messaging me. Until it's someone that I'm like, oh, okay. No big deal. Oh, you did? For real? How funny, Brian. That is so funny you say... See? It was due. Dang, this girl... Wow, I don't know what to say to her. Okay, anyway. Alright. Let us continue, shall we? I need to go much thinner here. I'm gonna take a little bit of this gunmetal and turn it into like a little secret. I'll put some of the group. Sweet. Sweet. Mini painting army assemble, bro. Bro dingus. Alright, let's do it to it. So where I'm going to be highlighting it up with a more golden color, I am currently super glazing in right at that transition layer some of the same bright ass, pink ass magenta. And it should give us a little boost of color. If you're painting something brown, you don't want it to be brown, you know what I'm saying? It should be like 3 colors. Not that that should take you much extra work either. Especially if it's just doing something like this, just to tint it. It's just so simple. It's so simple, guys. Man, there was a dude in the, so get this, there was a guy in a 40K group today who said that miniature painting isn't art, and that having like the studio painted pictures of miniatures is not artwork either on a box if you buy it, and that he would rather have like, you know, like a scene or a picture. And so he starts this whole argument, and then he just ends up looking like a total dick, right? So I end up blocking him on Facebook. He ends up sending, so he tries to log into my Facebook account and tries to reset the password like 5 times in a row. Then he finds my Instagram and he begins to comment on the Instagram pictures saying that I'm like a super shitty painter and yada, yada, yada. And so I banned 9 different accounts. He gave up after 2.5 hours. It's amazing. Mental health is a serious problem, clearly. People are not getting the help they deserve if they're spending 2.5 hours trying to hack into my account because I made them look stupid. But yeah, it was crazy. I was like, what do I do? This guy's just literally trying to log in to mess with me over and over and over. But, you know, I'm a very spicy meatball when it comes to me running my mouth, so, you know. I can dish it out, I can handle it. It's fine. Just like the people that run the Gen Con painting contest today find out they said that like ReaperCon's not a real painting contest and stuff. How it's an easy competition and like the gold medals they give out shouldn't be weighed as equally as their competition. Like, get over yourself. Jesus, how embarrassing. What's like so insulting. And to imagine the person that said that is going to be at ReaperCon and teaching. Doesn't that show you how fake people are? So I think we're slowly building this magenta in wonderfully. I think we are really getting a crazy vibe. I want this guy to literally have so many colors that he looks anything but undead. So that's the plan. Give me a uno momentore. Remembered I need to look something up. Oh, look who it is. What's up, man? Yeah, no, he was obviously wrong. I mean, anybody with a brain cell will know. Okay, so that was that one, and then how have you been, man? I heard it was like 110 today up in Oklahoma City. Sounds really healthy. No, what is happening? Oh my gosh. I hate whatever is happening here. Alright, there we go. Okay, let's see how that turns out. Haha, bada bing. All right. Remember as well, if you do want to watch in higher definition like Christian is, you can watch over on YouTube in 1080. I got like I needed to reset the stream key for my mixer, so I'm not on there right now. I just didn't want to take the 2 seconds to figure that out. All right, let me get a teal out. Let's see. Big teal out. Yeah, everybody's AC is struggling. I wouldn't be surprised too if like the power started flashing at some point in Oklahoma City. So this is definitely not the blue that I thought it was. Hold on, here it is, aqua. How bright are you? Are you good? It's good. It'll be alright. Alright, cool. So right now I'm just color blocking in more of the, not necessarily glow, but like, I don't know. Whatever the effect is that we're doing, other than just lots of color. That's the first hair I've noticed shed off this brush. The Da Vinci's, I will say, even though I am sponsored, I will say I don't notice them shed that often, which is pretty normal. Some brands less than others when it comes to Sable, but that's literally the first time, and I've been abusing the same set through like 1,000 minis so far this year. Man, Da Vinci is sending me this like crazy new line, and it goes through size 020 through, or no, 030 through 05, and it's like supposed to still be fat bellied, so we'll see how it actually looks, but I'm very, very, very excited to try them out. Not that I need super tiny brushes, but if they behave the same way that like my regular Da Vinci's do, then there's no telling the possibilities. So, and then they're also sending me like the 30s, the 11s, the 10s, the 35s, and we'll see what else, because you know they were like if you're doing a giveaway or something like that as well. So we'll see what actually comes of that, but. Currently just pushing the pigment to get it to taper. We'll do a water taper real quick too. Easy peasy. Sorry, you couldn't see any of that. Shout out to all the dust on the Mini. It's a bonus feature. Oh, Christian, yes. The answer is yes. So, okay, so here's the deal. This is the best way I've been able to identify it for Windsor people. So compared to a Series 7, DaVinci brushes have like way more body to them. So they're just, I don't want to say stiffer, but they like, you can push them a lot more because they're used for watercolor. And people that do watercolor with like more like broad overarching brushstrokes and everything will end up using it for that. And so that's why I prefer them, because I use such thin paint that I have like perfect control because the body's really thick. With Winsor & Newton, other than the quality control issues recently, like in the last couple years, I've had just some bad ones shipped to me from the get-go. Theirs are more like, I would say they're closer to the same kind of sable that like the Watercolor uses, or not sable, but the body. So like it still has a lot of give to it. If you're using a bigger brush, it'll work well. That's why a lot of people like the size 1 and 2 for the Series 7. But for me, like, so those brushes do well with thicker paint. So people like AG, Angel Giraldez, he I like how I did the first part of his name like the way you would pronounce it, but not the second. But he uses thicker paint with more pigment, so he uses a fuller body brush like that doesn't have as much of a snap. So, but I prefer it just because of the way that I paint. But we'll see how some of the other series they're sending me work as well. And if you are interested in buying one, I wouldn't grab one off of Amazon necessarily yet. I would wait until I find out a little bit more info about something else. But Amazon also will ship the brush just like totally loose in the container without any packaging. So do keep that in mind. I've had a few ruins sent my way. But I will know soon if I will have a easier and even cheaper solution for people to buy those brushes. So, if it's no rush to you, then I would just hang out and wait until I maybe have some even better news. I'll be like the professor from Futurama. One to 3 months, yeah. So Amazon pulled them. Cause that, I mean, they literally gave me so much money. Amazon did, because they kept trying to replace these items, and every time they showed up, they were broken. And I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, for real, this is unacceptable. And they're like, okay, well, we're gonna have to pull these off the shelf if all of them are like this. And I'm like, that's not my problem, is it? It's you guys are selling the product that shows up broken. So I'm gonna shade this down like crazy, but I'm gonna get that brightest color underneath there. So remember, as always, if you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to hit them in the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching here on Facebook. If it is your first time watching on Facebook, do feel free to like the page as well. You can see all this cool stuff that I've got going on. I like to think it's cool. It's probably not cool. You know, what do I know? I don't know anything. You used a 2, switched up Raphael. Yeah, I would suggest trying a size 1 series 11. So, but yeah, the one that I'm using right now is a series 30 0. But the 35 is supposed to be shorter, so I'm very excited to see the 35 because I like a shorter brush anyway. So I'm just sort of bridging all these different areas with our palette. Man, I'm thinking this looks really cool. And remember too, if you can, at the end of the month, sneak down for a day to ReaperCon. Well, actually, that's really bad advice because all those tickets are going to be sold out. So what I would say is on Sunday, at the end of the month, if you make your way to ReaperCon, I'm not teaching any classes on Sunday, and I'm just hanging out and painting. So I mean, if you want to come hang out, you can do that too. And I'm going to have some of the periodic tables and the power-up palettes for sale there as well, discounted. So I can show everybody, literally in person, how I literally just shove paint around and paint so differently than everybody else. I think a day pass is like 15 bucks, I don't remember. How dare you just bomb my Facebook page with Rolo, Tony? First of all, Kevin, you're gonna be more upset when you realize how like I'm personal friends with so many people up Tim and Eric. Oh great, Shoshi's here. Well, never mind. We have to stop talking about her now that she's here. I am very excited for ReaperCon though. Like you have no idea. I'm gonna be giving out the biggest high fives and bear hugs all day long. It's for real like summer camp. It's like painting summer camp. I feel like we need to arc this in, because if this is hair, it's not solid. So some of that backlight would come through, obviously. Like that. See, now it's a little bit more natural. Super natural. Hush you. Oh wow, look at you talking all that trash about being done with your projects. Well, if I can get a couple done, I might be able to enter something. Oh my god, I just want to be so egregious, but I won't. I will hold my tongue. Hold it. I need to add some dots, bro. Y'all got any dots? Some of that nice saxophone music in the background, get you in the mood to paint. Pretend you're, the braver girl. I like the way you use your wet palette. Coming home from a long day. Yo, that would... Okay, I know the next set of memes I need to make. They're all gonna be, it's gonna be like, you come home from a long day, and your husband or wife is like, oh yeah, I put all your brushes through the brush restore earlier while you were gone. You're like, oh. Or they're like, hey, I ran the airbrush through the ultrasonic cleaner while you were gone. Thank you. Actually, you know it's an even better, like, I don't even know the way to what the category would be of these phrases, but like, so for somebody like me, if they go, hey, I cleaned your workspace, but I didn't move anything, I would be like, oh my god. I love you. That's killer cleaning, like, cause man, I've had some things thrown away before. Oh boy, that were a big, big deal. Alright, so we need a lot more work on this side. Well, really not a lot. I just need to extend it out like about that far, so that you actually have some bleu. Some bleu. Valentine's for mini painters. Oh, I like that. Roses are red, violets are blue. I would go on a date, but commissions are due. That would be mine, for sure. As Arthur weeps in the background. He's like, you gotta get out of here. Are these baby noises? Yo, this station is so strange, man. Yeah, that's a baby, isn't it? The model looks totally different. Yeah, I know. But that's why I wanted those crazy color transitions in profile. So that it was, you know, you look at it from the front and you're like, wow, that's interesting. And you look at it from the side and you're like, wow, that's interesting. That needs more hours. Sorry, no hat rule. Being broken tonight. Oh yeah, so at ReaperCon, Shoshi and I were talking about it, and I think what's going to happen is there's just going to be a whole brick of us in Artist Row, and then we're going to take chairs, and we're going to put the chairs in front of us, and then everybody can just come sit with us and hang out while we're there as well, if you're able to catch us. Our schedules aren't too crazy though. Like every day I pretty much have 2 back-to-back classes. Thursday, Shoshi and I have our class, and otherwise, it should be easy. Like, because last year it was weird because my classes were spread out like at such strange hours throughout the day that I felt like I didn't have like a good solid time to just relax. And so I got it this time for sure. I'm gonna water taper that down on that side of the tooth. Man, I love the back of that tooth. It looks so good. There was no water there, so I needed to make sure that it was wet before I went for that. There we go. Perfect. I'm sad Brian's not gonna be there. Are you still watching, Brian? Wow, whatever, Kevin. Dude, so Kevin Kevin was like super chill, man. Super chill. I mean, I think. My favorite person is Jason. Because he just sat down and asked so many questions. In a good way. Wait, Brian, are you going or not? You're not going, right? Yes? The answer was yes, that you're not going? That's what I'm sad about, because almost everybody will be there. I don't remember if Peter's going to be there. I know that Frank's going to be there. I know that Darren's going to be there. I chose the war is going next year. That's right, obviously. Yeah, I would think our, you know, that was really fun. You know, looking back at it now, for the first time really pulling something like that off, it went off real well, I feel like. So the only person that had an issue was Peter with his super delayed flight, but I mean, unfortunately, there's not much you can do in those situations. So, all right, so now I'm getting real bright. We're gonna go full teal here. Teal Team 6 in the building. Sorry, the delay is like terrible. I'm always so impatient. So yeah, I need to finish that. Okay. I was wondering my next steps here. You know who I hope is there this year? I hope Karen's there. I should message Karen, see if she'll be there. I didn't know anybody. It was so funny. We went in for like the little pizza dinner on Wednesday, and I'm just sort of like walking around, and I see this lady. She like kind of waves at me, and I'm like, "Hi," and she's like, "Hey, I'm Karen." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." This is the only person I knew, other than I saw Mark. Mark was there too, from Frozen Ninja. But I don't know where he ate this year. Obviously, we're going to be combining multiple tables on Wednesday night. We are going to be having a great time. So I don't know exactly where this light source is coming from. It's obviously behind the face. I don't know if it would be like up under the neck or behind the bones or whatever, but I do just want to keep pushing it. And then we're going to go in with that golden color all over. So what's funny is we're going to end up using mostly the same colors all over this guy in various areas. Oh, they did last year. Shoshi, they did. And I don't remember too. I think you either had to tell them, or because it was like something specific they were doing. Because like I remember you couldn't just get the vegetarian or the gluten-free option. Like you had to. It was somewhere. Like it was not in the main line, so people didn't just grab it accidentally. So, but I am gonna see Ron, so I can double check too. If I have Ron in front of me, I can ask questions immediately, right? The benefits of living that close to the HQ. Hey, that means if I'm still around, I can help them fulfill the next Bones Kickstarter. Whenever it shows up, I can be one of those guys. The reinforcements. And then that way, when people post a complaint in the group, I'll be like, bam. So Kevin, I went to Paint Club for literally like 6 minutes because when I got there was nowhere to sit. There were extra chairs, but like everyone was like perfectly spaced apart. And so I'm not the kind of person to be like, hey, everybody that's sitting here painting, will you please like make room for me? So I just ended up going because I didn't know that I couldn't pick up my online order on the weekend, but so I didn't get to pick up my order. And then I also didn't really get any more information on the busts that we needed. So it was pretty much a big old waste of time. So then, yeah, I left. And then somebody was mad because I guess they expected me to be there, but there was no room. So I'm going to go this weekend, much earlier. I'll be there right at noon, which is when people start to hang out, and then I'll just be there painting. But yeah, I just didn't want to make people move and try and accommodate. Not that they wouldn't. I'm sure they would. People are people, but that's just me. My social anxiety is like, let's not interrupt people's good time. Like, all right, cool. Let's not do that. Thanks, Bran. I was about to say, who is messaging me? My friend in Japan. What's he saying? Let me see. That's funny. I feel like I need to get a big vinyl mini painting studio, and it'll be like way, way in your face. Oh boy. Man, I love that water bottle though. Okay. 1 second while I check another message that's probably going to be super dreary. Great. All right. Remember, if you are watching for the first time, go ahead and, if you want, you can follow the page. Or you can ask any questions that you may have. Say what's up where you're watching from, something like that. We always have a pretty cool group of peopleino hanging out in here. We got Shoshi from Shoshi's Mini Painting. We got Kevin from the Bristling Boar. We got Brian from the Nance Craft. We got... Who else hangs out in here? Well, those are only people I see in my chat that I can see all the way up, so we'll just hang with them. Oh, what's up, James? Or Waza. I'm sure you go by Waza. Watching from the UK. The Ugliest Kingdom. No, I'm just kidding. I actually have some family in... I don't remember where exactly. They used to live in Paris, and then now they live somewhere in the UK. But I know it's not like a, you know, big town. I would say more of a... I was going to say little village. I guess they call them, I don't know. Or, yeah, little village, right? They call them villages? Little towns or villages? I don't know. Okay, people, we know... Okay. I like how everyone else is saying where they live. That's funny. Yeah, we know, guys. We know where you're at. So I'm gonna throw in some of this color, but only slightly. Squitsburg, Squilladelphia. What is here? Ha ha ha. I just got a notification somebody else is really mad about the Gen Con painting competition. I'm gonna read this comment because I've made a stand. I'm the one that posted from my personal account on YouTube to say that I feel like they are wrong for what they're saying. So let's see. Okay, so this guy said, oof. So this guy says calling other painting shows easy is a slap in the face of a ton of painters. So people who compete at Adepticon, ReaperCon, etc. just won easy shows and the medals don't count? Oh my god, he's going in. I suggest you understand the community you're a part of. Gen Con has never been known as a miniature or painters convention. If only a miniatures manufacturer put on a convention every year with numerous categories. Bang bang. Bang bang. Oh my gosh. Brian's somebody's dad. Did you know that? I heard Brian's got a really cool kid. I don't know if that's true though. But I would assume if Brian was your dad, it would be super cool. Could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I mean, I think Brian's pretty cool, so you know. I did ask him to adopt me at one point. Kevin, I just read your comment. Oh my gosh. Kevin. Oh my gosh. That's great. What you just said is so good. My gosh, Kevin. Oh my gosh. I don't think I'll even need to eat breakfast tomorrow. That was so satisfying. Thank you for that. My, oh my, look at all that nice little texture we're getting down here. Sorry if none of that was in focus. I was too busy spitting tea all over the entire world. I'm gonna go ahead and go cacao and like that guy's comment. Oh, hey, Chris. Good to see you, Brody. Oh, no, you... Hold on. I'll message you what I'm laughing about. Hold on. And yeah, Kevin has been talking to me on here for so long, he literally knows, like, every little joke that we can make. All right, I'm sending you... There you go, I explained it. Okay, what am I missing here? Yo, what's up, Ben? How are you, man? Good for hanging out. I see things have been a bit toasty in here today. Yeah, we're having a real spicy stream this evening. I'm gonna go till 11, so I hope you guys are ready to hang. But look, I'm gonna put it this way, okay? If you are gonna say that any painting competition is easy, and that there are different tiers to competitions, and that yours is somehow meant to be the most premier in the United States, and you're gonna disrespect that many people that worked hours and hours and hours of their lives to win something, to say that it's not good, it's nothing special, it was easy for you to work that hard, then, okay, let's think about it like this. Actually, we're gonna go direct. So then imagine this. After insulting every single person that's won at a different painting contest, imagine insulting all of the judges. Wow. Wow. You literally just insulted all of the judges from those competitions because they're easily awarding gold medals, right? Wow. Think about that one for a second. And then how are you going to have the nerve to literally go to another convention and put on classes when you said that it's not like anything special? So disrespectful. So disrespectful. Gen Con should just shut that whole thing down. They should. Who cares? No one thinks of Gen Con and thinks of painting. What a joke. What a joke, am I right? But anyway, that's the thing. Like, if you're going to disrespect people that work that hard, you better be ready for the heat that's coming, because I am definitely not somebody that's going to let you say that. That is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So disrespectful. As I furiously paint this miniature now. Yo, I hope I win a medal with this so I can shove it in that person's face. Be like, well, does this not count? Is this fake? Is my medal fake? Because it's not good enough for you? Please. Get over yourself. Such a weird flex, exactly. I'm gonna mellow down some of these. Very gently, as you can tell. Because here's the answer to the whole issue with those painting contests as well. You're never going to be able to, like, so all of those contests are based upon your own entry versus a system, right? The problem is, if you literally aren't giving golds or anything like that at a painting contest with like literally world famous painters, it's kind of, I mean, that's kind of crazy. I don't know, dude. That to me is just so nuts, man. So nuts. But the only answer to that is to do a winner-take-all painting competition, period. Sort of like the Everchosen, except literally let anybody enter that shows up. And you award prizes to the top 5. And everybody else just goes home, right? Because if you're trying to say that like your contest has this like amazing criteria that only allows like people that have like sleeping angels on their tongues that have like never clogged a toilet before in their life to win, then yeah, you should make it literally winner take all. Otherwise, don't waste your time. Yeah, Chris, that's the new technique. Anger stroke. I mean, that sounds terrible, actually. We were not going to brand it like that, but you get the idea. Who was it? Kevin? Dan? Sorry. The bust is from Big Child Creative. part of their Black Seas, like orc series. I have Papa Jambo too, but he broke. Really, really sad. So we're gonna try and finish this guy instead for the contest. Hey Kevin, you know the best part about making that joke is that you would then have to have like the judges all be friends and all be in it together to like somehow propel themselves forward in their careers. Too late. Too late. That is a spicy meatball. We're finishing this guy tonight. Or we're getting extremely close. But either way, this guy's going to be almost done for sure. But, like, that's it. We're finishing it. We're going to do him one night. Oh, wait. Oh, man. You gotta love it, like, you gotta love a barn burning every once in a while. Unsolicited disrespect. Oh my god. You know the no one meme where it's like no one and then something happens? You can be like, absolutely no one. And then the Gen Con painting contest. All other painting contests are easy. Okay. Oh my god, this brush is going crazy. Did you see that wild hair I'm dealing with? Alright, let's look at it from like arm's length. Yeah. I'm feeling it. Give me 1 second as I check my phone. Awesome. I can't even see back there where I need to paint. So now I have this color in here though. I definitely am, yeah, that's perfect. I don't know what's up with my eyes tonight, but I'm like perfectly just sort of eyeballing where I need to put like a thicker highlight. I don't know what's going on, man. I think it's because I had an easy painting day. Everything that I was working on, finishing up that Massive Darkness, and then I also did structures for Lords of Hellas. So like this little expansion, and I had to like make them look like they were glowing and all that stuff. Relatively easy. I painted 45 miniatures today. Well, no, so 1 set of 20 plus that, so 55. No, 56. But it wasn't like, you know, so other than the volume, it was very stress-free. So I think my eye is like attuned to big boy highlights this evening. Big boy. Hi, welcome to my TED Talk. Look at us render out them 3D bonesies. Purple on the bottom, blue on top. I'm in the zone. Yeah. How much longer? I'm gonna go downstairs and watch him paint. Oh, yeah. Oh, do you want to join in with me on Discord or Skype? I'm gonna be going for like hours. She'll be back. I think she's already gone. When she's back, we can see if she wants to hang out. I could even call her in and put her screen on this screen. We could have a dual stream. Let us know in the comments below. Anything's possible through the power of anime. Through the power of anime and Redstone. How much did you cringe enough? Was that cringy enough for you? Just let me know. I'm working on it. She said, "Heck, you're." Okay, I can make that happen. Now you guys are gonna have to bear with me for the 2 minutes it'll take me to set that up, but we can make it yapping. It'll be like a preview of if you bought the tandem class with us. Crossing streams, bro. I love it. Community Building 101. Welcome to my TED Talk. Wow. What's happening? Hey, can I paint like this, guys? Why do I even have the hat rule? Oh, I think I just got paint on the hat, but it's okay. You know, from the painter that brought you "Don't paint eyes because it's a waste of time," I am shocked that I'm doing the underside of the bones to make them stand out. From the makers of "Don't paint eyes" and "Don't paint what you can't see" comes the underside. I don't know how to use my camera. We can do a Skype call. Unless you are also trying to stream at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can put you up here, and then we'll just have like our normal call. Or we can hop in Discord. Discord also has a camera feature. I don't know if you know that as well. We can like video. I think you can, and then I won't be able to because I'm using all these cameras, 3 cameras. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. How weird is this? Watch. They're all so close. Okay. It's coming off. Sorry, guys. You just got to deal with the forehead line, but yeah, sorry, I'm not going to fight the camera. So you just let me know, Shosh, we can figure it out. I'm not too awfully concerned. Should we add more contrast? I think so. I think that's the mission. I'm on a mission. A mission. All right. Let's get more of this out. I think we're friends. Where are you at? Oh no, Shoshi, I'm in your, hold on. What's it called? Right here? Okay. I swear I have you as a friend on Discord. Oh, do we not? Okay. Where are you? Right here? I'm calling you. It should work. Me call. I'll adjust my audio as needed. Oops. Oopsies, I missed you. Did that not work? We'll figure this out. I hope I'm in focus for you guys as I'm waiting to figure this out. Oh, you know what I'm wondering too? Is if, I don't know where to message you. I'll message you here. We got it figured out. She thought I was trying to call her on Facebook. That's funny. That's funny. I hope she wasn't like clicking around, trying to figure out what was happening. Uh-oh. Oh, hold on. Yes, I can. Okay, I'll hear you in 2 seconds. I have to change my, I have to tell Discord to use a different headphone. And
My Facebook. There we go.
boom, I can hear you now. Shoshi, what's up?
Yay, I can hear you too.
Awesome. There you go. Boom. Rocking and rolling.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, let us know how her audio sounds. I can turn the music. I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to turn the music down and you up. There we go.
Okay.
But it should be fine. Everybody in the chat, let us know.
You sound good. Hopefully I
Nice.
sound.
Yeah, you sound fine. So, let me hop back over here like a madman. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Hey.
So, yeah, what are you working on this evening?
So I'm kind of gonna finish this model that I started on my other stream, and I decided to do non-metallic bronze.
Ooh.
That was a struggle.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
think.
It was like a lot of green, like kind of greenish. Like
Yeah.
a cold gold, basically. It's kind of reading as gold. It's alright.
Well, I think people are also like your brain is probably so used to the concept of non-metallic gold that like
Yeah.
unless
just
it's like
freezes.
red, yeah, it's you're gonna be like, oh, that's gold. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's probably why I'm enjoying this bus so much because there's like you really can't go wrong with it, right? It's just like a lot of organic things, and I like that better than like a really technical paint job where you have to be like super careful.
It was funny because in the beginning everybody was like trying to help me, and I'm like, dude, I need to work it out. I want to do it.
Shoshi's little helpers.
Yeah, it was cool though.
There's gotta be a word. Oh wait, isn't there a word for that? A Yiddish word for like a helper or someone that gives like advice?
Yeah, like a yenta.
Yeah, and I want to say Kevin knew a word. Kevin, what's the word you told me? Kevin also hit me with some word that meant maybe I don't remember what he said. But yeah, it's the idea of someone that just comes out of nowhere. Let me tell
like
you
a-
what to do.
A nudge,
Yeah.
maybe a nudge. That's somebody who kind of nags you. Also.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I am super excited for ReaperCon. We're gonna have so much fun.
Mhm. We'll just be watching all the things.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm hoping the booth, because last year the Reaper booth had some stuff that was hard to find, like Gorma, like just in like a bag, no packaging, for a little bit cheaper. So I'm hoping we can find some goodie deals. Maybe. I mean, I felt like I was going crazy by the end of it because I didn't have any time to look at anything, and then at the last second I'm like, okay, it's over. Do I buy stuff? And everything was already put away.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also so much different too. Like, even though there is a vendor area with like a bunch of stuff, it's so obviously not the focus that like
Yeah.
it's not like you're missing out on anything insane. But
First time I went to ReaperCon, some of my followers like gave me a humongous bag of lead, basically lead miniatures, and said here.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, and I didn't realize like the exchange rate was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I went home with so many Reaper models, and I was like, okay. That was back when I was still like doing eBay, you know, like
Oh
eBay
yeah.
models. Yeah.
I've always so were you painting and then just putting them up on eBay, or were you buying eBay stuff and then repainting it?
Well, that's how I got my start, was I got into my Reaper Bones, and I was like, I'm gonna
Yes.
make back my pledge money. And I was
Oh,
just like,
kibitzer. Sorry, that's the word. Kibitzer.
Kibitzer.
There you go. Okay.
Kibitzer is somebody. We're kibitzers. We kibitz. It means to like chit chat.
Oh, okay. Yes, we're very
Kibitz
kibitzy.
we kibitz and schmooze.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but I guess somebody who, yeah, you could still be a kibitzer.
But yeah, so you just reached into your bag of bones and were like, here we go.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna make my pledge back, and you know, at the time I was supposed to be working on a new portfolio to shop to galleries, and then I just was like, okay, I think I'm gonna do this now, you know?
Yeah.
Because I like ended up selling. I guess I did the cleric, Pathfinder cleric,
Mm-hmm.
and I painted her in the style of Wayne. What's his name? The main artist for Pathfinder.
I know who you're talking about, but I'm not gonna remember the last name.
Yeah, I don't know his last name, but anyway, I painted it in that style, and it ended up selling to some dude in Tasmania for like $115, and I paid like $4 for the model.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, this is way better markup and margin than my watercolors.
Well, and you don't have to play. Actually, whoops. I was gonna say you don't have to play the political game, but little did we
Yeah.
know.
Right.
But that was the worst. Was like whenever you're trying to get book a gallery show, or even if it's just like a sales gallery, right? Like you go in, you work really hard, you finally get a spot, and then you get put next to like a friend of the gallery's wife who's like only done one painting, and you know what I mean, and they're taking up the whole wall. You're like, oh my god. How is this fair?
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought, well, I'll do this for now, and that's how I got into it. And I'm glad still. Sometimes I kind of wish there are days when I wish I could go back to the days where I could just like throw shit up on there, you know, like, you know. Sorry if I'm not supposed to cuss.
You are fine. You are fine. Yeah, we're not on Twitch, so.
I know, right?
But yeah, I had always wondered sort of if I had taken a totally different approach and only started putting things on eBay, right? Or like try to do an Etsy or whatever. And I think supplementally speaking, that's like the direction to go for sure. Like, cause that's something I need to explore more, is selling the pre-painted side. But, that was the biggest worry, was like, well, let's say you pick a couple things to paint and you work them all out, you throw them up there. And I guess you could do really well if you play the Kickstarter angle, right? So like, let's say you snipe the games that you know are going to be miniature heavy, and you're going to force yourself to paint them, but you are at least sort of at a higher ratio of success if you're going to sell it out. But man, you know, I feel like that is a gamble of all gambles. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always have to paint whatever I just like, or else I'll get burnt out.
Preaching to the choir.
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah, when you're so burnt out you hate painting, but you have ReaperCon in 2 weeks. Here we go.
Yes.
No, we're alright. I've been meditating in the pool every day for 15 minutes, so I'm zened. I'm zened and I'm getting a tan, so it's all gravy.
You're set. all from this chat is going to be going?
Quite a few. We know Kevin's going to be there. Chris, are you going to be there this year? If you're going to be at ReaperCon, drop it in the chat so we can know who to expect. But I know quite a few people are going to be there. And then just all the random, like the vendors that I became friends with too. I'm happy to see them again. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And then anyone new, you know, because that's the thing too. We've been talking about it, so it'll be people's first year going, and they're going to be so excited. And
oh, nice.
It's going to be awesome.
When I first went, the very first time was, I think it was 2015, and I was, you know, I was raised on Reaper. Reaper was the first model company that I ever painted. Well, I take that back. There was Ralph Partha. But I was such a fangirl, and they took you on, like, who was it? Ed took us on the tour.
Oh, you got it from Ed? Oh my God.
I know.
Ed's so cool. He's like, yeah.
And so I was videotaping it, and I was kind of like fangirling the whole time, and he just thought it was the funniest thing. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And I can literally imagine his like turn around, kind of raise an eyebrow. What's going on here? Yeah, he's so awesome. Chill. Yeah. And I think that's the best part about going to the actual Reaper HQ during the convention is like, you realize, you think it's something special they're doing, and then you realize like they would do that any day of the week for somebody to take them through and show, and you're like, wow, okay, it's like they really, really go above and beyond. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, Chris isn't going. Jamie's going. Kevin's going. Let's see. I got tickets for the joint class. Oh, Sloan Segura, the man himself. We will see you there. Mm-hmm. I expect a big high five, not a little high five. Big high fives only. Kevin says, my non-painter wife, Bronwyn. Am I saying that correctly? I'm assuming I'm saying it correctly, Kevin. Bronwyn is coming too. She's actually taking your split class. Oh my gosh, look at that. Double split class. How exciting. Yeah, we're not worried about getting the bust at all. We got that taken care of.
You said we finally got it, so it's good.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Okay. When I told Ron, he was like, no, come on down. Come on down. I got you, bro.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I feel like Ron, like, he must have a steel trap of a brain, because like when you walk inside of his office and you see a million half-printed like 3D prototypes of minis and like all these notes, you're like, oh my God.
Wow.
I know how you work.
Yeah. Not like me. I have there's pilers and there's filers, and I'm a piler.
I'm a piler. I'm a you can clean it but just don't touch it type of like. You can, like, don't reorganize my space, but yeah, we can pick stuff up and clean it if need be.
Mm-hmm.
Man, right before I moved, that's how everything got super crazy, because I was like, well, I know I'm going to need to pack this anyway, so I'm just going to kind of let stuff, like, pile up as I started to organize it, and then by the time it became to pack, like, it was such a mess, but it made things easy. And I didn't lose anything, so that was my biggest fear.
Do they still do the auction at the end?
Oh my God. Okay.
So the thing is, you gotta buddy up with people.
Well, there's someone in the chat right now that knows the definition of buddying up. It's my auction buddy. And boy, oh boy. So I kept trying to get a mouse pad, and by the end of the night, it became such a meme because I would immediately, like, they'd be like, we're gonna start at 50 Reaper, or like whatever it is. I immediately max out, and I'm like yelling it. I'm yelling so loud in the crowd, and like everyone in the room is like, he needs his mouse pad. You know what I mean? And like every time somebody would just they would just dump all these tickets, thousands of tickets, and then so I leave because I needed to drive back to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And Kevin, and then a couple other painters, I forget who else. At the end, they're like, let's try and get it for him. And so they threw all of their stuff in, and still another group took that mouse pad. So Absolutely crazy.
Wow.
And I'm like, guys, it's a mouse pad. Just let me have it.
Yeah.
But it was funny. So yeah, this year, I don't really care about splitting the paints. I mean, that's cool for, that's fun for the convention goer. But for us, I want like, if there's something that's like, because they gave away a couple resin masters last year.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yes, so if they have like any Bones 4-1, anything that's like multi-mini in a pack, I would definitely want to do that. Oh, I did win, not the raffle, but the drawing. I did win that big Cthulhu that they have, and I'll be doing that.
Wait, the original Bones Cthulhu you got the master of that?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Just the regular. The masters they gave away last year, one of them was Treebeard from Bones 4 before it was even done. And then
nice.
I want to say like some dragon they gave out too.
Okay.
And that was big money. Like, man, I think like 5 tables threw it together, and I don't know how you decide who gets it, but that was very cool.
Dang.
All I want is a Reaper hat, so I'm just gonna keep going. I want the Reaper dad cap that has the embroidered logo. That's all I need. So, and I'm literally going to, like, when I'm at the HQ with Ron, I'm gonna be like, hey man, so can I get that hat? Like, I know you have them here.
Yes.
Like, I'll buy it if I have to, but I know they're there. Like, give me the hat. And then I'll take a selfie under the Reaper sign with the hat.
There you go.
Got it. Yeah, it's so funny when you look up the instructions, how to get to their HQ. It says like, great game store, yada yada yada, and then it goes, you definitely feel like you're going to the wrong place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there though on Saturday. So I'm gonna go back this weekend, and I'll get there early, so there's a place to sit, and I'll do their painting club. But yeah, they have a whole rack, so they have the entire MSP paint line, probably multiple colors of each, and they have brushes there for you, and you just bring a mini to paint on, and you can use their paint. So.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, they do that at the Paint and Takes at Adepticon.
Yes.
And did they do it at a Gen Con?
They were not at. Or no, they weren't at Origins, and that is understandable because that is now the WizKids convention.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think they were, or they did do Paint and Take. I don't know. I know they do. They'll mail Paint and Take stuff in as well to let other people run them. Because I know they did that for SoonerCon in Oklahoma. Anyway, I was about to say something about SoonerCon, but I'm not. It's all right.
No.
I don't live there anymore, but it's all right.
It's funny because when I'm looking at this model that I'm painting, and she just looked like trash on when I was streaming her, because when like people are watching, you think like it's gotta look good because you're trying to teach it, right? And then like I told him, I warned him, I'm like, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna figure this out. I'm just gonna throw paint, and they still watch it.
I think too, a lot of people enjoy seeing
the struggle.
Yeah, well, not necessarily the struggle, but like you just sort of like having a challenge of needing to figure out how to paint something, and then you just work through it, right? Because that's a big challenge for a lot of people, is being afraid to just experiment and see what works for you best. So. And a lot of the classes I've done recently, like the last 2 months, probably like an hour into it, I'm like, okay, now I'm happy with the paint job. So like literally the whole time I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I don't know if this is gonna even look good. Da 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 da. And then finally I'm like, okay, it came together. Cool.
Yeah. Well, and that's they all go through an ugly stage, even if it's a short one. when you're working.
You sound like a parent.
I know. They're an ugly stage. We love them anyway.
Right now I'm starting to apply a super neon green to offset the pinks that we've been using.
Yeah, I want to see where you're gonna put that. Is that gonna be on the bones?
Yes.
Ah,
Sort of. I think I'm going to spread it all over, though. I think at this point,
okay.
the composition is so obscure that I feel like I can get away with a lot of palette sharing. So we'll see if I can do it. But because like if you read, so Rhonda Bender, right? She was talking about like her judging criteria for ReaperCon, and she literally is like, if you're so her advice is if you are wanting to paint in a like realistic style, then be very good at that, right? Or
Okay.
go completely opposite. Literally put as much contrast as possible, like as much color, like literally just push it as much as you could to make it look like very, very visually and interesting, because that's sort of, and I know you know, because it's the same in watercolor, like
Yeah.
if you're trying to do realism, you have to be good at it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have to really be good at it. And then otherwise, you can be as expressive as you want. It looks amazing. So that's like like literally like the gnomes you were doing, the Breaking Bad busts for sure. Like that is great. Those I love still. I think that your style just, it was like they were made for it. So
The irony is that I wasn't painting my style. I was basically interpreting the art cards, which were done they were in somebody's, so whoever did the caricature concept art,
right.
and so it was.
But
me
you're
interpreting that.
but it's so illustrated, right? That
Yes.
it's just
Oh,
it
yeah.
translated immediately, and it was like, yeah, this is you can just tell instantly, like, yeah, this is exactly the killer instinct. So,
Yeah.
but I love that, and then yeah, the gnomes too are so good. Yeah,
Gnomes
I
are
mean,
illustrative also. They're based on the
Yes.
Secret of the Gnomes book.
which my sad, and that's the one from like the 70s, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah, so my friend had a copy of that, and she let me borrow it, and I don't know if I ever gave it back. I think I did, though. I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah.
She had me paint a picture of one of them out of it, but it's funny because I didn't even know that book existed, or like the cult following of like wanting an original or whatever, and she was like, this is a very important book.
Oh wow, I didn't know about the original stuff.
Yes.
I had a copy. I had an original. Well, I don't know if it's original. It was probably reprint because I got it in the 80s. So. probably
You never, I mean, you never, it's hard, it's hard to tell with stuff like that because the books didn't move as much.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
but,
It was an early edition.
hey, there you go. Yeah, I remember hers smelled like cigarettes. Like you could tell it had been in a lot of houses or somewhere where you could smoke. It was just like, wow, okay. I think this green is looking good. Let me know in the chat, humans, if this is. I think this is working great. Actually, I think we're making moves here. Bold moves. I'm gonna start bringing out some orange here after the green. Oh yeah, we're palette sharing. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the object is. I'm just gonna put all these colors on it. And I'm gonna be like, hey, I heard you guys like color.
Uh-huh.
So I brought color. I'm sure I'm not missing anything. There we go. Oh, yeah, it was the huge Cthulhu. Actually, it's right behind me. Hold on. Wait, no, it's not. Sorry. Oh, yes, it is. I got it right here. I can show you. It's as big as my head. Hi. And he's like maybe.
Star.
Hi. He's like maybe like 30% done, 40%, but this is the style that it's going to be in. So relatively realistic, but a lot of brush strokes, a lot of texture. So shouldn't be too difficult to actually knock it out. All of the underpainting with an airbrush has been done, so probably like 4 or 5 hours, 4 hours maybe.
If you look at Sergio Calvo Rubio's work, he's very, very illustrative, but he's also extremely painterly too. So
Yes.
like, there's blatant brushstrokes on his work, but he gets away with it because it's an obvious style and it's like very clear. And I think if he tried to paint in that kind of American smooth blended style, he would probably not be the same as what he does in its current style.
Yeah. That's like if you look at people like Ben Comets, right? Or like Annie, or like Little Demon. Any of those people that just literally are like, oh no, there's no smooth, no, that's all brushstroke, right? Like that is exactly what they want, and I think that's great because it's like if you're an artist that only draws in pen or Sharpie, right? Like it's
exactly.
You are committed to whatever you're working with, so.
Yes.
Big bold decisions.
I always had I had an art teacher that always used to, I'm probably going to say this during our tandem class, is if you make a mistake, that's what he'd say, if you make a mistake, make it look like you did it on purpose.
Yeah, right? When you color outside the lines, just make it worse. Go with it.
Yeah.
Dig in. You gotta lean in. We sound like Tony Robbins. Just way less F-bombs.
Oh, does he swear?
Oh, no, that's like his whole thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Like he like cusses people out while they're like reliving childhood trauma in the middle of a seminar with 5,000 people. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, there's something about him. He's like, I don't know, man, that guy's crazy. But
he's charismatic is what it is.
yes. He has like that, I'll put it this way. If like Christianity wasn't a thing,
yeah,
that would have been like, he's one of those dudes. Like that would have been a religion.
It'd be Tonyism.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Yeah, what was the most exciting KDM miniature that you saw from Gen Con that you were excited about? I mean, I know you had the lion rocking and rolling, but...
Many. So, I've always liked the dung beetle. I collect the knights.
Yes.
And so, I love the knights. And there was a elder dung beetle knight there that was so bomb. And I'm like, oh my God, I love it. The only thing is it didn't have a dung ball, and I'm like, where's the giant dung ball? Yeah.
I like seeing the butcher. So like the Giga Lion and the Butcher, and so are those just like upgraded versions of the original, or like what's the concept behind those?
Kind of. It's kind of like it's like a morph or something. It's like a different version, species or something. I don't think it's quite like the Elder Dung Beetle Knight or anything, but I think a lot of that's coming because people have finished their... I mean, I still haven't finished the 1.5 content, the first content that he's put out.
Right.
We haven't even gotten past the Phoenix. Oh no, I take it back. We got the Phoenix. We're supposed to be finding the Kingsman next.
Oh.
But, yeah, he's not. He's gonna roast us. But we have a population of 31, which is kind of insane.
So that's like the amount of characters that can keep dying and...
I've
never played, so...
So let me explain. So like the characters, the survivors, are not your player characters. Basically, what you do is it's boss fights, and so you have 4 settlers that go out and fight, and they beat these bosses, and then when they win, which a lot of times they die because these bosses are all badasses. You get to get resources and take that back and build up your settlement. So truthfully, the settlement is the character. That is, oh my God, I love that pink that you put in his face with the green.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I didn't know what was gonna happen when I did it, but obviously magenta and neon green are like the two, and then teal. This is like very 80s almost. So
yummy, yes. Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. We'll see how it keeps going.
It's very watercolory too.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Like, look at my undead orc.
he's undead, but he's like vivid.
But yeah, so I've never heard someone explain. I think now things make a bit more sense. I don't think I've ever heard someone just say like the settlement is thought of like a character, like that's what you're growing and that's what you're...
Yeah, the settlement is the thing that you are enriching and that you are building and that you are trying to further.
Okay.
So you might lose we might go out and find the Kingsman, and he might kill all 4 settlers, but we still have, 29 left or whatever. How many? 28 left.
Oh wow! So you're good. You can take some beatings.
We have some cush, but the thing about Kingdom Death is something can come along and just decimate you. Like one time we got the plague, and that just roasted us. And we, luckily though, we just have been really lucky. We were supposed to, in order to, so basically we had the plague, a bunch of people died, and we were gonna have it, we were gonna get it again the next turn. And so we had to innovate and be able to like basically learn about how to deal with ammonia. And so once we...
And this is all written into the game?
This is all, yeah, these are random cards that you can innovate. And we just happened to draw the ammonia card, and so we were able to cure ourselves of the plague. And it was like, hallelujah, wow. You know, like...
So Kevin asks, yes. Well, so Kevin, from what I understand, at least from all the great KDM clients, just kidding, I've had mostly good ones, but so it's sort of like you build your favorite look, quote unquote, in your head. So like you would, even though your armor changes and your survivors change all the time, you're like, if I was wearing a rawhide set, this is what this girl would look like, or like whatever. But people do magnetize it, and that's like a whole different level of hell. So, but it is possible. Who's the guy that does the little, you know, the person in the KDM group that like makes the armor chest?
Oh my god.
The guy I know.
No life or something.
Dude,
because, like,
it's
oh
that's
gosh.
next level.
It's so next level and so perfect and so KDM fanboy too, because that's kind of like, and we all love it.
Yep.
We all are like, we wish we could do that, but I mean, magnetizing KDM is no small feat.
Yep.
The parts are really tiny, and so most people don't do it. What we did was I just built, like you said, my favorite look.
Yeah.
And in the game, you end up with a mishmash of parts anyway. You don't ever usually wear. I mean, you'll build it. You can build a whole set, but then the rest of guys aren't going to have a full set of lion gear. You're going to have one guy with the full set of lion gear, and the rest are going to have maybe some, you know, stuff from the Skinnery or some stuff from the Gorm, and you know, you end up with such a mishmash.
You know, so I really don't like the Gorm armor set. I think it's
it's basically a gimp suit.
Well, it felt lackluster kind of too, you know, like, or even the Phoenix. Wait, so the no, what am I? So the Phoenix armor is the best armor, right? Or the Lantern? Sorry, I felt like the Lantern armor. I feel like it could have been executed more. I don't know. I felt like unless you're really painting it a certain way, all of the lanterns will get lost. Like the fact that it's made out of all that. But I think that was just the request of my clients though. Like the style they wanted it done in didn't necessarily like scream like, yeah, check this out. This armor's badass, you know.
Yeah. It is a lot like Dark Souls. It's entirely like, basically, if you've had Dark Souls as a board game, because you die and you die a lot, and you have lots of different ways. My husband and I have totally different play styles too. So it's a cooperative deck against an AI. So that's awesome because we're not playing against each other because we fight.
Right. I recently have been in. Is it the same? That's how you can play solo because you're playing against an AI. Okay.
Yes. And so my play style is like, let's see what happens. Let's see how we die this time. Let's just, you know, wing it. And Mike's like, no, I want to win.
Right.
You know. So he gets frustrated with me a little bit sometimes, but it's still really fun. All right, do you have a recipe for leather? Go.
Yeah, hold on. It's in front of me. Whoop.
Use red? Really?
Like this.
Okay.
So starting from, well, you get it, but yeah, there you go. It's like darkest.
Huh. Okay.
Because that essentially is how this leather was made. So. Okay.
I started with a dark, it's like a burnt umber kind of color.
Oh, yeah. This one, when it dries, what is this? The chestnut brown? This one's pretty much like a lighter umber when it dries.
Okay. All right.
But usually I'm so lazy, like very rarely do I like, go all out. I'll just be like, here's one brown with a wash, and then I'll use 2 random colors to highlight, and then it's like, oh wow, look at that. So
Yeah.
I take the easy way out.
So Chris, if you like Gloomhaven, Gloomhaven came after KDM, and it's like a lot of people think it's like the less expensive, kind of similar version. It's more like family oriented too. It's not as
Dixon
R-rated.
whistles.
Yeah, I would say.
Painting up this crab. Giving the crab some cola. But I'm actually going to use this same color elsewhere, so. Alright.
I'm liking that red. I hadn't thought of that in the past. I like that.
Yeah, literally Cavalry Brown and Rust Brown are like, don't get me started. Yeah, recently I've been playing One Deck Dungeon by myself, which is a weird sort of... Yeah, you draw cards from a deck, and the cards kind of give you like a challenge rating out of dice. It'll be like a sum of different dice totals, and your character can only roll certain dice based on its class, and every time you just chunk a bunch of dice and you see what happens. And that one's been relatively cool. You can just sort of play it for 10 minutes to relax. I just have it by the table, and I've been doing that. But then I bought this right here. So I bought Legacy of Dragonholt, and what this was described as in a lot of the different reviews is some people are like, this is literally a DM-less RPG. Kind of true, not really. And then other people are like, it's a choose-your-own-adventure story and it's nothing special, which is kind of true but not. But what it is it's literally it's like if they made a role-playing game out of a choose-your-own-adventure, and they call it the Portal system because it has like this whole algorithm that tracks your decisions that prevents you from making the same decisions if you play through it a second time. And they're like so the main book is 200 pages, and it's like the setting of the town of Dragonholt, and then there are 6 standalone adventures that you can potentially go on depending on your decisions in the game. So but you can play that solo or up to 6 people. So like a lot of the reviews were like, my husband and I read this at night. So like they play it in bed before they go to bed because you just read out of it, right?
Love it, yeah.
Because there's no dice, there's nothing. You just like, your characters have skills, and it'll be like, if your character has stamina and agility, you can choose this option. And so you're like, all right, well, let's try it, and then you see what comes next. So, but I've been enjoying that because I like to read, and I also like to play games, and so I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But that has been pretty impressive so far as well. But that's my new thing, is like the slight solo board game kick.
Kevin wants those colors from that leathers recipe.
Oh, you want to make a note? Yes, sir. I got you right here. So, I moved them around, of course, Kevin. I'm sorry. Hold on.
I'm super looking forward to painting next to you because I'm gonna get some of your ideas.
No, we're just gonna be hanging out. We're just gonna be painting. There's no.
Okay.
It's great. That's what I love about it, is everybody gets such a different perspective. Okay, so Kevin, if I'm going to be doing that, any purple, but I think you have sticks. I think you have that color. Then next, you want to either go in, depending on if you're painting a warm or cool tone. If you're doing a cool tone, you'll want like muddy brown. This is like your burnt umbery color. And then if you don't need to go a cool tone, then I suggest your chestnut, which is like a knockoff Walmart version of Cavalry Brown. Then you can either jump up with like a real Cavalry Brown if you want, but typically I just go immediately to sort of like a taffy color, caramel color, and then a flesh tone for all your scratches and dashes. So if you want the actual colors, it's orange, brown, and tan skin. But gosh, I've started with like 4 paints on the table, and I'm gonna have like 50.
I approach leather just like skin. I have my underpainting, and then I'll do like usually a wash of some kind of um, like an ink or something to basically create that, well, not quite oiled leather, but you know what I mean. Oh, I
That's
lost
one
you.
thing. Nope, I'm
Okay.
here. Yeah, that's one thing that I haven't really messed with that much. Is like, I mean, I guess that's not true. Uh, but like that approach that you described to underpainting, mine is more like my highlights are where I'm planning my underpainting more, if that
Ah,
makes sense.
yes.
So it's like I'm building up first, then I'm like, okay, now I want to layer in um, that aspect of it. But I think that that's more so because I'm not like when I was doing traditional art, it would be like super thick acrylic work. So I never really would consider what I was doing underneath, and I never took an oil class. So I did oil painting in general, but you know, underpainting with oil obviously is the name of the game. But I never really had a need to. So,
Yeah. With
but in an
watercolor,
academic setting, you know,
everything is
oils.
underpainting.
Yes.
Because you start from light and you go to dark.
Yeah. Yeah, watercolors are cool. For me, I always liked them more as like just more illustrative, like a conceptual way to do like form building for sketching. I really liked that. Or like whenever I was doing my life drawing classes, we would use watercolor to do like big shades instead of using just a ton of charcoal to save money. So that was pretty helpful. But yeah, I never had a good watercolor class. I never got to really go deep into it. Or one thing I wanted to do as well was gouache and watercolor,
Oh yeah.
because it's like crazy opaque but relatively the same consistency.
Yeah.
But I never really got to mess with it.
So I went to a community college for my first 2 years to save money. And the teacher there, the watercolor teacher, he was professional already. He was one of the few college art professors that actually was doing what he, wasn't just teaching, right?
Right.
But he also was a good teacher.
Oh, by the way, I was thinking about this earlier today, and those who can't criticize.
Yes, yes.
So there you go. And instead of teach, but
Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead. Keep telling me about your
But yeah, so
prof.
He was like super traditionalist, like no using white, no using black.
Yep.
You gotta, nothing, only like high quality handmade paper and really nice, he basically started us off with top of the line materials. And so we started with that, and then he would say, okay, now try these other things like your your Crayola palette or your, what is it, Cotman, you know.
He's like,
And
today we're
then
using rose art. You're like, are you sure?
yeah, but it really taught you like the difference in the materials makes such a big difference. And
I had something similar with in Oklahoma. There's this art camp for high schoolers called Quartz Mountain, and it's done on scholarship, so you have to try out, and then like, patrons pay your way. And so one of the years that I got to go, our instructor was this guy Isaac Applin, who's a pretty well-known artist out of Chicago. And one of the things that he did was he was just like you, super traditional. You are never going to add white. You do not add black. Like, you will use color to make everything happen. And this was all with acrylic. But one thing that he did instead was he made us do watercolor work. But we didn't realize what was happening. He's like, all right, we're going to go outside to do this today. So we all go outside. And he's like, don't bring your brushes, though. You won't need it. And we're like, okay. And then literally he would take us out to like a cliff face or like in the middle of a meadow. And he's like, you can only paint with what you can pick up. And that was the crazy thing.
I had a teacher. He said you have to paint with a stick.
Mm-hmm.
We had to do that one time, and it's really good to go through that because it really.
Yeah, oh my God, we should do a thing where it's like we don't use a brush, we use something weird to paint a mini.
I did a speed painting contest at Lock and Load where I had to paint with my fingers.
Oh,
jeez. Or the end of your brush, the other side.
Okay. That would be pretty crazy. I mean, luckily I have smaller hands, so I could probably get away with a little bit more, but... Wow. What a concept.
So the traditional watercolorist, he was like I said, he taught everything. He also did realism as his main thing that he taught. So that's
Okay.
what I started with. And then I went to my 4-year school, and I had a watercolor teacher who was like the complete, opposite, broke all of the rules that I had been taught. He was Dutch, and he was like, I want you to, he doesn't care if you paint on the paper bag. I like the slurpy, sloppy watercolor. And I mean, like, literally, we painted on a paper bag once, and like, you know,
Right.
it's like making me twitch because it's like I was like so traditional before that. But again, when you get outside of, like, when you have somebody who's breaking rules and saying that kind of stuff, you learn so you have to learn all the good rules to break them.
Yes, exactly. Well, and that is so true in life as well, because like, even if you know all the rules, if you have bad habits in art, right, it does you no good. Or if, like,
Yeah.
Finding habits that you do when you're painting and then stopping yourself from doing them is such a good exercise, because it forces you to stop being comfortable.
Well, or like me, you paint toward your temperament.
Yep.
And then you resist everything else. Like, that's why I got into watercolor, not oils, is because I'm like, I can't wait for something to dry.
Same.
Like,
that's why I'm so fast. Like, that's just,
yeah,
and that's, painting slow or painting fast, that literally is a worthless conversation, because it doesn't matter either way, right?
Yeah.
But that's
more hours.
that's but that's what's funny about, like, miniature painting, because so it is true, if you're going to be trying to do your hyper realism just as doing a hyper realistic still life, that takes, just technically speaking, tons of glazing, tons of, like, that's the world you're entering into. But the other side of that is literally like, have fun, have at it, you know what I mean? Like, just make something come to life. So yeah, that's, and for me, like, stuff like pop art, people like Basquiat, or like Sir Francis Bacon, like all of those type of guys that would do crazy weird brush strokes or any type of movement like that, always attracted me in artwork.
I was really attracted to Dadaism.
Oh yeah.
Which, if you guys don't know, it's basically like they were so anti-traditionalist. There was a guy who did, I think it was Degas, maybe Degas.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he made an iron, like for ironing your clothes, and he put a whole bunch of nails in it, and he called it, the title was to be used on a Rembrandt.
Yep.
Or he made a toilet seat, and he just like put out the toilet and was like,
needs more hours.
Art. Yeah. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah, it sounds like something I would do.
Chris says when we started painting, all we did was toothpicks. Oh, wow. You mean mini painting? That makes sense. Holy cow. I mean, you try painting with toothpicks.
So there was somebody last year that did a huge Nurgle, and they only used toothpicks and craft paint from Walmart. And
what?
That was interesting. It looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, he entered it into the open category instead of just the regular painting.
Yeah.
And so he didn't get as much points. Like, I don't know. I was like, damn, I wonder if he understands, like, but it looked cool. But it was also impossible to read, right? Because it was so busy. But that's the thing. If you're just sort of like a standard hobbyist and you see it, you're like, that just kind of looks messy. But if you're someone that paints and you look at that, you're like, oh, that was so much work. Like, you understand what they went through, but
yep.
Some stuff just doesn't show well. But I still feel like even then,
That's
the
just
judges.
True in any art. I mean, some stuff doesn't, and some audiences don't get it.
Yeah, that's just like comedy. Some people love modern art, other people don't get it. It's just people have preferences in everything in life. So and mine is the best one, obviously, and your opinion's wrong. So there, so.
And the American paint scene has been kind of indoctrinated for so many years that smooth blending and this kind of comic book style is the way to do things, that they actually view it as wrong if you don't. And it's like, I'm trying to you and I are both trying to kind of break that.
Yep. See you later, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin.
See him again tomorrow. Oh, hey, JV. Have you made any good coffee lately, JV? Because I know he has. What's the last roast you did? JV's additional hobby is roasting coffee.
Ooh.
Right? That's... Even hearing that someone's doing that as just a hobby, I'm like, oh, is that something I need to do now? Because I'm like so obsessed with coffee. But
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
he sent me some right before the painting event that I did. Oh, well, that was the first time. He sent me some right as I was moving as well, which was extremely helpful. Oh, he's going down to roast right now. See, speak of the devil. Oh, that's hilarious. Right when I mentioned it, he said he was about to go roast some beans. There you go. But yeah, he sent it during the painting event, and I remember I had that ready to go, and it was just so crazy. But I told him, like, when I like coffee, I like it like I like red wine, like super intense. You know, like you really gotta enjoy coffee to enjoy what I would probably enjoy.
The kind of coffee that gives you that kind of like tingle rush thing that you don't get very much.
Yeah, that's all the dopamine flooding from your addiction.
Oh, is it?
No, it's just caffeine rush. Okay, can you see the back of this tooth?
Let me see.
Look at that color transition on the back of the tooth.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I love it.
I know.
Now I just don't need to mess it up at some point, and we're good. Oh yeah, the back of the whole thing. I don't know what to do about that, but
Yeah.
that's fine. We'll throw colors back there and pretend it's good. It usually works out. I feel like almost too being super nonchalant about painting. It's much better for you mentally as well. It's like so less stressful to just be like, whatever. You know, it's fine. Whatever, it's fine. Whatever happens, we're gonna still be around.
Right.
Okay, so he said the first was a Munsund? Munsund? Are you kidding? I don't think that's the way you pronounce it. Monson Malabar, Indian aged coffee that has awesome funk. Yeah, I will say it was like gasoline-y smell almost. It was very strong, but really good. Yeah, I thought you said Munson, like from Kingpin, one of the best. Oh my God, the orange now.
Where?
It's on the tip of the hat on the left. Yoink, yoink.
Oh.
Perfect. Exactly what I wanted.
Peruvian.
Monsoon. Nice.
The best cup of coffee I ever had in my life to date was in Vienna.
Ooh.
at the Jewish Museum.
Oh.
In Vienna.
It was. What did they have there?
It was a Brauna.
I see it. Well, it's funny. I'm like, I want to know about the Jewish Museum.
I know. Well, you know what's funny about it? It's not like a coffee place. It just had a little, little cafe.
Right.
It just had. And then the second best cup of coffee I had was in New Orleans at the little coffee shop, and it was a Viennese coffee also.
Nice.
I think Vienna is pretty famous for coffee, though, so that's maybe why.
I'm trying to think if I've ever had like that just very memorable cup.
Australia had really amazing coffee as well, but it's very different from
American
coffee. Like, not even comparable.
Yeah, and they have such an entirely different climate to grow into that it's just like the Kona coffee in Hawaii. Like, it's only coming out of there. It's not grown, anything grown in Australia, even Southeast Asia, those coffee beans are way different as well. So.
Well, they're big time not like they would never do drip coffee. Like.
Yeah.
They just don't.
They're like, I need my Chemex pour over only.
Yeah.
Bust out the French press, please.
I really enjoyed French press.
Yeah.
I had one. It was good. But even the way they roast the beans, I don't know what they do, but I had someone send me coffee from Australia once which was funny because I didn't realize it after the fact that when you mail someone coffee, it's gonna get stuck in customs.
Yeah, because they're like, are you putting weed in it, or like what's?
Yeah, exactly. But it was so it took like a month to get, but I finally got it, and but it was really good. And now I have to be super careful about coffee. I can't drink too much.
Yeah.
I get all anxious.
Yeah. Have you tried doing like a mate instead?
What's that?
So yerba mate is a green tea from South America that pretty much has the same caffeine as, you can also do it with matcha. Have you ever had like an iced matcha latte before?
Maybe.
Okay, so both are green teas that are high in caffeine, but because they are digested differently than coffee beans, the fat is a lot more soluble, so you don't get jittery, you don't get like that really sort of anxious wire. So that's
right.
Anytime I'm having anxiety issues, I immediately hop off coffee, and I start using that instead because it just doesn't hit you the same way.
I do better with what's it called? Those dark roasts.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they have the same amount of caffeine.
It's also probably so like you can also think about a roasted coffee bean as almost the same way as like it's cooking it essentially. Yeah, so you would have to assume if you're cooking it more, it's going to be changing the chemical makeup of the bean itself, the way that it's, the way that it'd be released, whatever. So I'm assuming the actual roast also affects the, maybe not potency, but the way it's digested. But I mean, I don't know how nerdy JV is about coffee, but he may also know.
If he makes his own, he's probably fairly.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, so he says coffee is grown between the tropics. No coffee in Europe, right? And they age them in monsoons. Yeah. Nice. And what's funny too is people always like, no one really champions the coffee that's like painstakingly grown and cured and all that. Dark roasts tend to have less caffeine. There you go. JV the man with all the info.
See?
But they'll be like, what about that coffee that's poop? What about that poop coffee with them monkeys? It's like, all right, guys, come on. That's like not the...
And nobody drinks that except for like very specific people.
Yeah.
Who really want something different. And it's not actually... What it is that weird like cat-like lemur. It eats the bean and it poops out the bean, and then they clean it.
Yep. Yeah. It gets cooked, right?
But it has a flavor.
Hi, Arthur. Did you just wake up?
He's hearing us talk about cats.
No. He's like, all right, I'm going to bed. Okay. That was just a turn and stretch. Yeah, he had a big day yesterday with all those people coming over. He does really well with groups, but like the next day he'll just be like, all right, I'm going to sleep all day.
That happened with my cat. We had an adoption party for my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And my husband.
I saw you share that. That's so cool.
Yes. And
that's really awesome.
The cats got a lot of overstimulation by the niece and nephew.
Right.
Niece and nephew. And they were so tired the next day. It was fun.
Oh, did you have a big day, cat? Yeah. Nothing a good nap in the window won't fix.
Yes.
Yeah, Arthur's been loving being here. Not that I didn't think he would, but...
Is it the windows that he likes?
Everything. And there's a courtyard. Yeah, the courtyard in the middle of the house he's like obsessed with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. That was one of the things I was more excited about, was just the fact that he didn't even know what was in store, like all the cool stuff that he would be able to take advantage of. So the whole time I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna be so excited. Which I don't really know what that says about me, that I'm that happy for my cat more so than myself, but
yeah,
he was a rescue, so I feel like he deserves a little bit of pampering.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. My buddy James, who watches the streams all the time, he was like, I shared that video of Arthur rolling around outside on the patio, and he goes, the smell of spoiled cat.
Yes.
Very true.
So you know how red always looks so bad when it's matte?
Right.
Try to always like throw a little ink on that.
My favorite thing to do with red is highlight it with like a neon green, because it comes out as I can actually probably show you real
I've
quick on
heard
something.
of taking the complement of a color and then
Yes.
saturating it down to almost like a whitish color and then highlighting with that, and it really pops.
So I'll put some really bright brown on this little weapon. I'll let it dry so I can show you. But it's weird. And like, so my competition piece that got gold last year at ReaperCon, that was like the big trick that I did on all the brown fur, because it had like a lion pelt on it or something, or a bear. And so all the highlights were done with neon green. And I remember people were watching me do it on stream, and they're like, "How is this happening?" I'm like, "Guys, just trust me. if you put it on thin enough, it comes out as a highlight."
Yep.
But it's cool because it doesn't like pastel out at all. It's just different
Right.
the way that it reacts.
Let me see.
But it's very easy to freak out and mess it up as well. But yeah, so let's see if this is dry. Okay, so if I'm taking, actually, so I'm gonna use like this right here on top of it, so as neon as possible. Relatively thin, I mean, you know, oh, this is clogged. Typical glazing-ish consistency, but there we go. Okay, so the brush was clean, good on me. And then
There we go.
and literally see how it comes off almost as like a golden color on top. Like, it's so strange how it doesn't read as neon green at all. It's just so crazy. And it's best done for like the smaller details. So if you're going in and you're doing like scratches or anything like that, that is where, you know, all the fine detail would be going in.
Oh. It's because of the yellow in it, right?
Yes. And since it's a analogous color to red in general, it's going to cause more contrast with your eye than it would with anything else. So
Sweet. Oh
It's
my
good.
gosh, that looks awesome.
it's a good trick.
Yep, I'm doing it. It's awesome.
But yeah, I like it in any small detail, because I have problems with it if it's a larger area, just because eventually the threshold you hit where all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's green, is very small.
Right.
So in small zones, it's perfect. But going a bit beyond that, you're rolling the proverbial dice.
JV says Civic Cat Coffee. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. That's what they're called. Arthur, do you want to eat some coffee beans for me, buddy?
Yeah.
See how that turns out?
I'm not a civet.
Well, I scoop your poop anyway, so we can always just see. You know. No hurt in trying, Arthur. Oh, I forgot to get him more litter today. Yeah, that's okay. I'll be alright. You'll be okay for one day. Oh my gosh, get this. So I went to go buy mealworms, okay?
Yes.
And so it's the first time you go into whatever local Petco over here, you know. So I drive all the way over there, and the guy's like, oh, getting some worms today? I'm like, yeah, I've got some leopard geckos. And he's like, oh, yeah, so our worms, we toss them after 2 weeks, so they're always pretty fresh. And so I open it up and I look in, and yeah, they look good. And I'm like, all right, cool. Check out, and I'm buying a container of 50, right? I get home, and I start pulling them out to feed, and there are only 7 in that entire container.
Oh.
So I call back, and I'm like, hey, I just bought these worms, and it's a pack of 50, and there are only 7 in it. And the guy's like,
So
the guy goes, "Oh yeah, they must have all cannibalized.
No.
The alpha worm eats them all." There was no waste at all in that entire container.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. They don't just do that.
They don't do that. So I go back, and the guys had 6 containers out on the desk in the checkout, and he goes, "Yeah, I guess you just grabbed the one with the least back there." And he's like, "So yeah, you can. I went ahead and sifted out all the feeding material in here. You can go ahead and just take whichever one you want." And I go, "Oh no, I'm gonna count the 50 I paid for." And I look at all the ones he laid out. None of them had 50 in them, like 20 to 40. And so I emptied one entire one that only had 37, and then the other one maybe had like 30 in it. But what's funny is, so I'm like, "Well, no, I want the 50 I paid for." And he goes, "Okay, well, you can count it out." So he made me count it out at the counter, right? So then he goes, "Well, would you like to take a little bit extra for the trouble? I wouldn't mind if you took another one of the containers." And I go, "No, you can give me a refund because you made me just count this out myself." And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no problem." So I paid with a card, and he gave me a cash refund instead of on the card. And I was like, and I'm like, "Okay, why'd you do that?" And he goes, "Oh, well, because it's a live animal product, I can't do a traditional refund, but I can do cash." And I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's true. So then I call corporate in the car, and they're like, "We are so sorry. We've already had a complaint from them this week, and here's a $30 gift card and a chargeback on your card."
Oh my god.
But I couldn't believe it, because, you know, when you buy live reptile food, half the time they really do rip you off. Like, they are not giving you, they're not giving you the full amount, and they don't expect you to look. But there were 7.
Yeah.
There were 4 left after I pulled 3 out, and I was like, "This ain't happening, dude. I'm going in there for real." But yeah, the fact that he made me count it out by hand, I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna have to call," because that's just crazy. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to find a different Petco to go use that gift card at, because I'm not going back.
No.
There's no way I'll go back.
Wow. Petco. I go to a local.
I need to find
supplies.
Yeah, that's what I need to find, because I know there is one. There's always one in town, so. But yeah, what I think I'll do is I'll probably use the gift card to buy another heating pad. And
There you go.
give it to the girls. They'll be happy.
How's the egg going?
Just sitting. It hasn't, there's no mold or anything.
Takes
so
a while.
Yeah. It takes like 90 days almost.
Oh, okay.
So, and it usually takes a little bit longer if they're not really hot, like 90 degrees plus. And I know that mine is probably like 85-ish.
And I heard that different temperatures will make you have different genders.
Yes. So the different temperatures will sort of dictate the gender, as well as supposedly the colors. So if you have a morph that's like really intense, it'll be more muted in a colder hatch than a hot hatch. And that's why all the breeders like try and have, super temperature controlled, very warm, whatever you would call them, incubators. So, but we'll see. I think it's viable, because it's been in there long enough that if it was a dud, it'd be yellow and.
Right. You would have known by now.
Yep, because it is super white, very, very viable looking. So.
I have some plants in my bioactive that have died on the warm side, so I went and I got some more like deserty type plants for the warm side.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I saw that. You were also talking about your invertebrates. That's one thing that I don't have, because I don't have anything living necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah. The invertebrates are awesome. They're good boys. They're really awesome. And if I didn't already have the geckos, and I didn't know, I never knew how cool isopods are.
Yeah.
Because there's people who collect different kinds of isopods.
Yep.
You need to look up the rubber ducky isopod. It's awesome.
All right, let's look up a rubber ducky isopod, shall we?
Yes.
Rubber ducky isopod. Wow, there you go. It's like the number 7 auto suggest. Oh my god.
Aren't they awesome?
What in the? Oh my gosh. All right.
They're not wild. They're completely captive. obviously, because they're, you know.
And they're just like the size of a roly-poly.
Yeah.
Here you go, chat. Enjoy. I'll drop this link in there so you guys can also join in the fun. I think, if I can find the window. Let me see. Here it is. There you go. I wonder if you could do like you do a Tyranid army or something, but it's only isopods.
Yeah.
And it like has to be realistic isopod schemes.
You could. There's so many different kinds of isopods, and they're so cool. The ones I have are called Dalmatian, and so they're like mostly white with a little bit of spots, and then they don't like to what you call it? They don't like it when you expose them to light. They'll play dead.
Oh, okay.
And then I also have powder blues, which are kind of like, they just look like they look like kind of a powder blue. Roly-poly.
Little roly, little poly. Okay, I'm happy with this leather. Right now I've been applying a lot of this orange-brown from Vallejo to sort of rebalance out all the colors that we put on top. It seems to be working okay. Sometimes you never know. You just kind of gotta pretend like it'll work. Hey, well, you know the best thing about the comment needs more hours, so I can be like, well, you can go watch.
Yeah.
I've had a few people too just give me the perfect setup of saying that something's photoshopped.
Oh.
Or like they don't know how I did it, and I'm like, here's the link, and they're like, uh-oh. Whoops.
I'm gonna use your leather scheme here and do the purples.
Oh yeah. Purple Shadow Club.
I'm using the Scales 25 black leather. It's like a really dark kind of, it's a little bit desaturated, like a desaturated mauve purple though.
Okay, yeah.
It's got a lot of reds in.
Pretty much the only time I end up adding like a black or like a deeper color, if I'm adding like German gray in or something like that, it'll be to mute another color. And so I like trying to make it gray rather than just straight black. Because it doesn't take away from like the white balance that you've already sort of built up with your other colors. That's the funniest part too, right? Like a lot of people forget that your eye will overcompensate for what it's looking at.
It will.
You can do all kinds of tricks.
That's why I started doing the skin, and I told everybody, I said, okay, I gotta stop. We have to paint some more of the rest of her outfit.
Yep.
Or else we won't, it won't, we'll have to fix it all.
That's so funny. I know Brian knows that because I did it in person. So if something has the base, I'll work on it, and then I'll paint the base black while I'm working, because it completely shifts the contrast. And that's like my way to double check while I'm working how everything looks. But then I do the same thing as well, where I'm like, mid paint job, I'm like, yeah, okay, we got to take a break on this because I need to see what it's going to look like compared to such and such area or whatever the case is. But
sometimes I have a good enough picture in my head of what something's going to look like that I don't need to do that. But I think you're right. I'm going to paint the black base just now that you say that. See what happens.
Yeah, I always like double checking and just making sure, especially for me because I have stigmatism. So like my eyes eventually, the more I focus, will slowly start fading out on me. And so taking a break and resetting. Yeah, so eventually I just kind of have to be like, all right, I need to reset the way my eye's looking at this, and then it comes back together, so.
Yeah, I think that, because I've been wearing my glasses with the new, with the OptiVisor. It's the same one that you've been wearing.
Yes.
and I've noticed that my eyes will, they'll get weird on me.
Yeah, eventually they start to get weird.
Yeah.
And like I said too, I use it at the end of the night so that I don't like hunch over and stuff all day. But then I hit that wall and I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta chill out because it's too much going on.
Do you ever paint so much that your eyeballs twitch?
Yeah, and then I also make the mistake of painting too much, and I'll like right now I have a fan on over here, so literally the left-hand side of my left eye is just dry as hell right now. But I'm just too lazy and unbothered enough to go turn it off, so.
We have on my Twitch stream, we have a hydrate and we have a stretch break alert. So my mods are actually pretty good about making me stretch and making me get a drink of water or something.
It is 9:36, so I've been going for like 2.5 hours. 2 hours.
Time to stretch.
Right?
Oh my god, that changed so much about her with that black face.
And that's the thing too. I mean, if you aren't necessarily expecting a black, oh my god, I'm like trying to wipe dust off, but I'm actually wiping more on. Okay, anyway, that's funny cool. Too, because it'll it also lets you sort of go like, okay, maybe I don't want to use black here, or it's just sort, I don't know. It's like you get to peek into the future to double check what you're doing, you know? Wow, I am just so pleased with how this guy's turning out. How good. I was concerned that I just like wouldn't be happy with any of the ReaperCon entries because I'm having to sort of rush, but I think we'll be okay. And the one that I really wanted to enter that everybody was most excited about broke in the move, and I lost a part off of it. And you can't buy another one because they aren't done anymore. So.
Can you sculpt it or?
Nah. I could do a recast, but. That's like the only way to get one, but at this point, it's not going to get here in time, even if I was going to do that. So, because the scythe broke off of the end of a weapon, and it's just gone. I don't know where it is, and it happened before the move, so I don't even know if I accidentally threw it. You know, too many factors to even try and pinpoint. So, you know, luckily I just took a deep breath, did a little meditate, and I'm good. It's all right. So. My dad was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that," because that was the one miniature he always asked about. He's like, "How's the Reaper coming? How's the Reaper?" And he always wanted to see it. And then he hears that I break it, and he's like, "Oh my god." It's all right though, man. One day, both my parents were in the stream. That was hilarious.
That's awesome.
They like came in after another. My dad was talking trash. He was like, "I taught him everything he knows."
Oh, that's awesome.
It was funny. We did. I mean, so my dad and I started painting at the exact same time when I was a kid. Wow. And that was like our hobby together.
That's awesome. My mom, like, the year after I was going to conventions and everything, she's like, "Is this just a hobby for you?" I was like, "Mom, I've been professional for like a year now." And then now it's funny because like she's like, "I'm the mother of the artist."
Yep, dude, my mom literally pulls her phone out as soon as she meets somebody for the first time. She's like, "So this is my son." Which is, I mean, and I've said it before, I've even said it to them, like, I've had all kinds of, like, really great opportunities in the past and really good jobs and all this stuff, but never did they act like it, they never acted like it was a cool thing. And then this, all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, let me tell you."
Oh, that's cool. Alright, that doesn't look good at all. I don't know what I just did, but it doesn't look good.
Just paint. Just paint. You can redo it.
Paint it over.
Just grab the Bondic. It's fine.
Yeah.
Alright, I need to zoom out on this guy so I can see what's going on. I love my secondary monitor because I can zoom out and see from a different angle. You know what I mean? Like, you just sort of look over, you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, I am very pleased with my leather. I think we're doing pretty good. Okay, cool. My phone just buzzed a bunch. Let's see what that was about.
What was that? Horse and ride? What was the horse and rider? Oh, is that the one?
Was that the? Yeah, that's the one that broke.
Oh.
Sorry, JB. Actually, he's right here with all his broken pieces. This guy was going to be all freehand. This guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, literally every piece that could have broken is broken. So,
Oh man.
sorry, horsey. You're never getting completed. I'm going to keep it just in case some event, because I have all the other pieces, if I somehow find the piece that's missing, but I highly doubt it. Sadly, but it's okay. Oh yeah, I forgot I had a text. Oh, it's not from anyone I needed to see. There's a Pokestop in the neighborhood, and it just turned Team Rocket for Pokemon Go. And my roommate was saying, "Hey,
Nice.
if you want to go grab that." It's all right. I'm consumed by leather. Oh my gosh. I'm still getting beeps and bubbles. What is this? Tinder. Nope, I'm good. Yo, I cannot believe that guy that made all those accounts just to troll me today.
That's crazy.
I looked at my Instagram and because I left the last comment there just to be like, maybe I won't block you and you'll just look stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's because I stopped using my Instagram account completely. And so I just don't care about it anymore. So I thought that was funny that he was like, "Oh, I got him, dude. I found his Instagram."
Oh my gosh.
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram was way too much work. All it is you competing for likes that don't really translate to much business. Like, I don't know. For me,
Yeah.
it was just more stress.
I've gotten one sale from it. Somebody contacted me basically about a mini. It's like, you know, he thought I sold all of them like that, and I'm like,
No.
I said no. These could be for sale, but that's it. And it was a guy in China. It was kind of cool sale. He worked at a car. He was like a car salesman in China.
Huh.
It was weird. And then he didn't really have PayPal. I'm sure he had to use some kind of VPN
Yeah.
even to look at
Instagram. Yep. It is definitely blocked.
Yes.
Oh, Chris, you should add me. Let me see.
And I ended up wondering if I was a little worried. I told him, I said, I can only take PayPal.
Yeah.
It's like, at first I didn't think it was going to go through, and I was like, it's going to be a scam, and it wasn't. I was really surprised.
Welcome to my TED Talk about Pokemon Go. I'm glad you are all here. All right, let me see if I can pull up my code. Oh, there's a Magnetite right here. Oh, it is Team Rocket. This is literally right down the street. I'm kind of mad. It's okay.
Is Team Rocket? I don't even know. What do you mean by Team Rocket?
So they just introduced it. What happens is Pokestops near you will be like taken over by a Team Rocket person. So when you go to it, you can fight them and get like special stuff for Pokemon. All right. Let's see this guy.
Started doing the Harry Potter game, and it's not very good.
Yeah, I've heard it's kind of confusing. How do I find my trainer code? All right, either way, if you want to add me, kiddos, there you go. There's Tongue Punch and myself. So just send me a little Pokemon invite, and I'll send you some gifts.
Okay, I will add you. Hold on. You put it in chat?
Oh, I can. I'll put it in chat.
Okay, hold on. I don't even know if I still have Pokemon Go on the phone.
I got them big boy Pokemons. Oh, not right there. There we go.
Yeah, I do. I still have it.
Yeah.
on. An agnostic monk. I like that.
Right. It's the only perfect I had.
You named your guy Tongue Punch?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta go to friends. Friends. Add friend. And what's your code again?
MGXII.
Wait. That's not your code though, right? That's
Oh,
your...
sorry. I don't know how life works. I got you. Hold on. It's not letting me get out of the appraisal screen. Okay.
You gotta go to that little barcode thing.
There it is. Okay, so it's
Covered by a thing. Hit Molly.
okay. I don't know how to do that. There it is. I have it up on screen once it comes through.
Okay.
There's just gonna be delay. There it is. I think that's how that works. Or do you want the
No.
QR code?
I need the QR code.
Sorry, I'm like super smart. I have the biggest brain
There
you've
it
ever
is.
seen.
It's 5997 60.
I brought the QR code up afterwards as well. It's all good.
406. Okay, I got it. And I'm sending my thing, and you should be getting it. I just
Who
sent
just
it.
dropped that in there? Dang, Dan.
Probably-
Dan just dropped the whole code in the.
Nice, Dan. Get it?
Hello.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I'm on stream, so I can't.
Oh, it's late. Right.
Yep. Thank you though.
Okay, sweet.
Bye bye.
Now I have to start playing, which is good because I need to walk.
Yeah, that's definitely. Dude, they took me on Community Day last month, and it like almost killed me.
I know.
All right.
Use this so
Boom, got it.
transparents. I've been using these transparents from I don't know, they're not an ink, but they're not a wash, but I don't know what they are. But they tint stuff. I don't know.
Use it as you like.
It's kind of like a watercolor almost, but
Oh, come on, that's too on the nose.
they don't reactivate, so that's nice.
Did I just throw my brush on the ground? Yep. Do I need this light right here? I don't think I do. I literally just threw my phone. Everything fell out. Hey, look at all those people adding me on Pokemon Go. Perfect. I will definitely remember to send gifts to everybody.
I am cobalt blue glass.
I get you. Oh, and guess what? We can trade at ReaperCon. Oh my gosh, I can give you some goods. Man, I have a mosquito bite right on the tip of my knee. It's so annoying. Alright, I'm gonna have to wrap up this hat work. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep picking at it for hours, so come on. Finish it up. Brush strokes, brush strokes. Yeah, and then walking in the heat. Oh my god. Terrible.
Last
But
time
it
I played Pokemon Go in Texas, I was sitting down under a tree,
Right.
and then I started walking, and all of a sudden I felt something on my foot, and I was like, and I realized, thankfully I'd gotten up, but I had been sitting on fire ants.
Yep, that is
And
a classic Texas move.
I had marks, I had those bites for like a long time.
Mm-hmm. I wonder too if you were a bit. Are you allergic to bees?
I'm allergic to mosquitoes and
Yeah.
like bugs, but I don't know about bees.
Yeah, because I was gonna say people that are sensitive to bug bites and stuff. If you get fire ants specifically, it'll stick around for a long time.
That's what happened.
Yeah, one time I remember getting off the bus because I grew up in Texas, and get off the bus. I'm talking to my friends. It's all good, and then I remember they look down and like they all gasp, and I'm like, "What?" And I look at my feet, and it looked like I was wearing black socks.
Oh my god.
That's how many ants were all over my legs. Like it was the most
Holy crap.
terrifying thing ever.
Yes.
I was not prepared.
When we went to Australia, Mike was standing in some ants, and thankfully they weren't like anything bad. But I freaked out because he brought them in the car,
Right.
and I was like, Australian ants, we're gonna die.
Right. They have handguns.
Yeah.
They all start pulling out knives. You're like, okay, we're not ready for this. We gotta go.
They don't have handguns because they don't have as many guns in Australia.
True. Yeah. Instead, they're like, all right, here's your Welcome to Australia pack. So here's your anti-venom, and they like pull out a giant box, and you're like, do I just need one?
Yeah.
You're like, no, you need all of this.
Yeah. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Very on the nose. Yeah, my roommates lived down there long enough to get their citizenship,
Nice.
and then they came back to the U.S. He was working for an airline down there, I think. I'm pretty sure. Sabre, maybe?
Mhm.
I don't remember. And then he was working for Southwest, and then now he works for Allegiant in Vegas. But he gets to live here still, so in Texas, which is cool.
Nice.
Alright, I gotta texture the other side of this hat, because I've only been doing one side, of course. Ugh, I always forget to do that. If you're working on one thing, I'll like hyper focus on one side. It's like drawing a portrait or a face, right? You're like, oh my god, now I have to do it on the other side.
Yeah, I always on stream I'll paint the front, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta paint the back off stream, and I'm like, you know.
And then you're like, I'm just never doing the back.
Or I'll half-ass it, you know, because nobody's gonna look at it.
Right?
Just take the picture from the front.
Yep. Yeah, no shame in that. Especially with especially with stream pieces and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there's no. You're doing it for the people, you know. So it's like, hey, you already got what you needed out of it. So I'm just gonna put you on the shelf of sort of finished miniatures and call it done. What's funny is half the time I always feel like too, if someone ever like comes over and they're like, wow, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I paint. And they're like, wow, do you have that looks amazing. Do you have anything good? I'm like, not right now.
Right.
It's so funny. I like rarely ever have anything of my own. So and then like after every ReaperCon or something, I always somehow end up selling the pieces or gifting them to the people.
Yeah.
So I never keep anything. But I should probably stop. I mean, I don't know. I don't really care enough.
Being an artist, if you're a fine artist, it's just it's a storage problem.
Oh my god, for real. You were right about that. Old man is going to bed. Good night, Brian. I know Brian is an old man.
Good night, Brian.
An old man with young kids. So he is wore out. Nah, he's not old. Just give him a hard time. Do you have water?
Do I what?
Have you been drinking water?
I have some right here.
There you go. Yeah, I was having a really good day today, and I realized it's because I drank so much water yesterday. Water, like, really affects my anxiety and stuff.
Yeah.
And I always forget, because I'm like, coffee, and then I'm like, oh yeah.
Coffee dehydrates.
Gotta get that water. Dan says, what do you consider old? Nothing. There is no such thing as old.
Josh is a youngin', so, I mean, I'm an old lady, so I don't mind it.
Nah, it's a state of mind.
Did you see those pictures I posted? Like, I don't age.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy, actually. You're like Keanu Reeves.
I know. I will be.
It's all that sass is good for your health. That's why.
Yeah, I'll be 48 in November, but I don't look that age.
I think it's anyone that's artistic seems to
Well,
age well.
I don't go in the sun.
True. Okay, there you go.
That's the main thing. I'm such a nerd.
Man, that's been like my favorite thing being down here is actually like getting in the sun. and because I'm like, okay, I'll just go in the pool 15 minutes. And I've been doing that every day. And it was actually, so my roommate, he like walked by and he goes, "Did you cut your hair?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "It looks different." I'm like, "Does it look blonde?" He goes, "Yeah, it looks different." And it's because if I'm pale, my hair looks darker. It looks like dark brown. But as soon as I start to get a tan on my scalp or like anywhere else, it immediately is blonde.
It's gone blonde, yeah.
It's so weird. Even my beard will get the little sun dye. It'll get way lighter.
My husband's arm hair starts bleaching out when he gets a lot of sun. He's a redhead, so he just freckles a lot, and then
that's funny.
His arm hair gets really blonde.
Yeah, I usually burn like one time every summer, and then as soon as that's done, I just start to get super dark. But it's like it's weird. It's like I have to burn, otherwise I just sort of dance around getting tan. But once I burn one time, it's like, all right, cool, yeah, you're done. You're fine.
It's like you're teaching your cells or something.
Right. Hey guys, I know you haven't seen this in a while. Is that sunlight? Wow.
Was that your cat?
No, that was the door opening up.
Okay.
I'm sure it sounded crazy.
Cat was opening the door or not.
That he can. Oh, I'm sure he's so happy. He goes, "My friend's home." Hi. Hi, friend. That's my friend.
Okay, so we got to talk about Jeffree Star because I hear you saying hi, and I love it.
Oh, I mean, he's kind of. I don't know how I felt about after the really weird James Charles thing with him.
Oh.
Because he sort of got messy, and then he was like, "Just kidding, I don't mean anything I said." And it was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know either. I was like, they both.
But he has had a very erratic past though, so it's on brand for him to possibly just literally be like, "Just kidding."
His dog just died, and
Yeah, but at the same time, business-wise, crazy, making millions off of merch. It's like other people selling other people's merch. The makeup line, everything is just like, wow, okay.
The branding is just on point.
But if you're really gonna make a killing on YouTube, that's the thing. You got to be able to pull back and figure out a different business venture. Because that's what a lot of them make the mistake of too. It's like when you start going viral and really getting subs up, well, you're gonna have money coming in. Well, the difference is that's gonna slow down eventually. So investing it as it's coming in is what he did, and that was just so smart. And now, he literally is the biggest YouTube merch supplier. Like never has to make another video, really. At the end of the day, that would keep you afloat, so. And then him and Shane's back and forth is always so funny. I love those videos. Like, "Hi, I spent 50 grand on an outfit for you. Come over." I'm like, why not me? Well, they don't make Gucci for fat people, so that's fine. They don't have anything come in extra medium.
Extra medium.
Wait, what is happening here? Is it so JV and Chris live in the same part of the world? Oh, that's cool. Look at that.
Nice.
Friendships made. Thanks, internet. Okay. I am at a place where I'm pretty happy with this hat. I think I can call it done for now. I know that the contrast will probably change, so I need to focus on the rest of the leather.
Well, I am going to go ahead and call it a night for night. My old man husband is going to bed.
Yeah, I'm probably only have an hour left.
It's best to stay on the same kind of circadian rhythm as him.
I would
Even
imagine.
though I'm way more of a night owl. If it was just up to me, I would probably keep Australian times or something.
Right. Yeah, Arthur
That's
is my
looking
clown.
awesome, though. I mean, that's just come along so far just since you started,
Oh.
since I started watching you.
Oh, yeah, tonight it's been crazy progress. So I'm definitely now very confident with this piece for the contest. So definitely happy. But what we'll have to do next time is you'll stream and then I'll hop in to chat.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Definitely, we'll do that.
All right, well, have a good night then.
All right, laters. I'm gonna get out of Discord first.
I'll hop out too.
Okay.
All right, so that was fun having Shoshi join us. So what I'm going to do now is just finish up the leather that we've been working on, and then I'll just call it for a night.
Yesterday, history.
At that point, but I'm loving where we're at with this. This is going to look so good. Wow, it looks absolutely nuts from far away. Very pleased. I hear Arthur going crazy in the other room. He's playing. Very happy someone's there with him. So what are you two gonna like have a cookout? What's going on? Well, I am happy for you guys hanging out with me tonight while we knocked out insane work on this. I mean, I am so happy. This is, if I don't finish anything else in time for ReaperCon, by the time this is done, I am very happy. This is killer. Exactly the kind of style that I like to push. Let's go super close for you. You know who wasn't in here tonight was James. I figured he would have been in here tonight. He'd been showing up to all the other streams. Not tonight. Oops, I'm hitting my forehead on the camera because it's so close now. It's like right on my face. I'm so happy about this. Oh, Shoshi was showing me what she was working on. Here, I'll show you on I'll show you on camera here. Oh, I see why she needed that highlight on the red. That looks really good. All right, so here's what she was working on. So whenever she was working on her highlights on the red, I'm assuming they were being applied there with the green. I like the base. How it's like half moon. That looks really cool. Very, very cool. I love the color shift from the top of the hat to under the lip of it. Oh yeah, these. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a little bit more of that work. Sort of finishing work. And actually, since you mentioned that, what I'll do is I'll strengthen that. So watch what I'll do here. To increase the level of that contrast, what we'll do is we'll do like a bright line across like this. Whoops, where are we at? So you can see what I did was I just made that a sharper line, and that'll increase. I mean, look at the color from below. How fun is that? Camera adjustment. That's why you have a nice camera, so you can do all of the things. I've already touched the top. All right, we just gotta do this side, and then we will be done for the night. Yep. All right, guys. That is going to be it for tonight. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm just going to call it early because I know I have 2 hours left on this, and I'm not just going to revisit this for an hour's worth of work later. So we'll just do one more stream on this guy tomorrow night, and we'll finish him up. So I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm definitely happy with this piece. I think it's going to kill at ReaperCon, yada, 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 whatever, and I'll holler at you tomorrow. So take it easy, guys.